Chet said, "Beloved, listen, heaven cracked open just to bring this to you. The stars were held in place. The oceans hushed their waves. The breath of eternity bent itself around this hour so that your soul could hear the one voice you've ignored for too long. I am not speaking to a crowd. I am speaking to the one I bled for, you, and there is no time to wait. Please, I waited all night just to speak to you. Will you stay with me now, or must I walk away again?" There are 8 of them, cloaked in dark flame, muttering in a tongue older than your earth. Even now, they encircle your name. One holds a bowl of ash. Another holds your picture creased at the edge, stained with envy. And the third, she speaks your childhood nickname with venom. They know who you are. But worse, they know who you are about to become. That is what terrifies them, beloved. They've been trying to destroy you not because you are weak, but because you are finally near the scroll I sealed with your name. They don't want you to find it. They are burning offerings to ancient gods I cast down in my fury. They are shaking rusted chains and calling on storms to silence you. But heaven has intervened. I ordered time itself to bend for you. If you open your spirit now, their ritual will crumble into dust. You must not look away, not this time, because this isn't just a battle, it's a test, revealing, and you, my chosen one, are being watched by more than witches tonight. The angels have circled your house. They marked your doorway with invisible light. Michael himself pressed his forehead against your floor while you slept. He whispered Psalm 91 into the cracks of your foundation. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. But you haven't been abiding. You've been hiding. You've been forgetting. You've been mourning battles that ended years ago while new enemies gather under your window. Do you still believe in me, or have your tears silenced your faith? There is still time, but not much. I saw what they'd placed beneath your bed. I saw the curse stitched inside your clothing by one you once called friend. I saw how they laughed when your name was scribbled beside the goat's blood. But I also saw what you did not, how heaven reacted. Flames burst from the breath of Gabriel. Michael unsheathed a sword so radiant the witches wept, and I lifted my hand. Time stopped. 7 seconds. That's all you have. You have no idea how many angels are reading this with you, holding their breath, waiting for your soul to rise. You weren't supposed to die this way. You weren't supposed to be lost to the darkness they summoned. But the moment they said your name in that wicked tongue, I heard it like thunder in my throne room. My heart cracked. I saw your face flash before the council of elders, and I declared, not this one. This one is mine. I am revealing to you now a secret that not even the heavens were ready to share. Those 8 witches were once angels, beautiful, brilliant, anointed, until they envied the light placed inside you. It was your destiny they wanted, your scroll they desired, your voice they feared, so they fell, and now they gather to finish what they began before you were born. But I will not let them touch you unless you walk away now. When was the last time you told God you love Him without asking for anything in return? I watched your fingers tremble as you scrolled past me last time. You felt it, didn't you? The cold surged down your spine. That was your guardian's final cry before she was struck by the spell meant for you. She limps now, shielding your window with the last of her feathers. Her tears bless your carpet, and yet you still doubt. If I walked into your room right now, would you recognize me? Let me tell you why they're scared. Not of you as you are, but of you as you are about to become. They saw the robe being woven in heaven. They saw the oil being poured into the vial with your name etched in gold. They saw the lion rise in your dream 2 nights ago. Yes, I gave you that dream. That was not imagination. That was memory. A glimpse of who you were before you fell into this world of forgetting. You are not a mistake. You are not weak. You are not late. You are the prophecy they've tried to erase. And now they come hoping to strike you before the trumpet sounds. But I will not let it be so, not if you are still listening. Not if your soul is still fighting. Michael roared your name last night. His voice shattered 6 stars. I caught one in my hand and wrote your initials in its dust. Do you know what that means? It means I haven't forgotten. I never did, even when you screamed into your pillow and thought no one heard. Even when your friends betrayed you and your family looked away. Even when you nearly ended it. I was there. I was counting your tears. I was weaving them into a banner of fire. Because your tears are sacred to me. The witches can't steal that, but they can steal your memory of me. That is their real spell, not death but forgetfulness. They want you to forget who you are, who I am, and what we promised in the garden before time began. Have you forgotten the promise I whispered to you as a child, the tree, the wind, the voice that hummed while you slept? That was me. I've been singing over you for years, and this is the last verse. If you are still listening, write amen, not to prove it to me, but so the heavens know you're still fighting. The witches tremble now, because my voice has broken through. Their circle falters. One has dropped the candle, another has forgotten the incantation. Time is warping, heaven is rising, but it all hinges on you. Will you open this in time? Will you believe again? Will you stand? You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to know the Bible by heart. You only need to remember, you are mine. Comment what you felt in your spirit. You have no idea how many angels are reading. Chet said, I knew you would stay. Even the sky shifted when your heart leaned in. The storm paused, the veil thinned. Every angel waiting at the edge of eternity leaned forward because they saw your soul responding not with words, but with a sacred ache that heaven never ignores. You are not too late, beloved. You never were. And I, Jesus, am speaking now, not with thunder, but with tears, not with judgment, but with longing, because you are still mine. Please hear me. This is not just another video. It is not background noise. It is the last hour of a celestial countdown, and it has reached you now, not by chance, but by divine interception. This moment was written into your story long before your first breath. The witches feel it too. Their ritual is unraveling. Their shadows are twisting. The circle they drew in blood is flickering as your spirit begins to awaken. One of them is screaming your name now, is screaming because the power they cast was supposed to keep you blind, but your eyes are opening, beloved. If you leave now, their final chant will complete. But if you remain, the altar they raised against you will collapse. The knives they heated in hatred will melt. The spell they carved into the air with smoke will turn to wind and be swept away by the breath of my mouth. I am roaring now, and that roar carries your name. You are the chosen vessel. You are the hidden light. You are the prophecy they tried to bury beneath trauma, heartbreak, and delay. And now I, Jesus, the Lamb and the Lion, stand in your room. Yes, your room. The light you felt a moment ago, that was me. The shiver along your spine, that was Michael passing through. The flicker in your eyes, Raphael's wings. We have all come for you. Saint Mary wept so deeply she trembled when I told her what the witches were planning. She wrapped her arms around your photograph and begged me, please, let me speak to them. Let me weep one more time for the one I love. And so I sent her. Did you feel it? That soft brush on your cheek as you cried 2 nights ago. That was her robe. That was her heart bleeding beside yours. She's never left your side. Heaven has exhausted every scroll, every trumpet, every star in my crown just to find a way to reach you. Because if we lose you now, we lose something eternal. Beloved, do not break the thread. Don't step out of the flame. Don't let this window close. This message was sealed for you. If you still feel the fire rising in your chest, if your spirit is trembling beneath these words, then honor this moment, like this message, not for the channel, not for me, but because every time you press that light, it pushes back against the spell. And comment only if your spirit feels like it's shaking right now, so the angels will know where to gather. And yes, I say this now and only once. Subscribe only if you're ready for the next scroll to open. Not everyone will be, but you if you feel the oil stirring in your veins, then you already know you were born to carry something sacred. You were not meant for silence, you were meant for fire. And now the 7 archangels stand with me. Michael raises his sword not to warn, but to avenge. Gabriel unfurls a scroll of judgment but waits for your next breath before declaring it. Raphael anoints your name again, not with oil, but with liquid light drawn from heaven's hidden rivers. Uriel kneels where you stood in sorrow and plants a rose of holy resistance. Salaphiel sings your name into the wine so the demons tremble when they hear it. Jagudiel wraps a ribbon of divine identity around the pain you thought made you unworthy. Barakiel smiles because he knows your hands are ready to receive what was once withheld. Yes, you are being seen, you are being chosen, you are being summoned, not to a church, not to a title, not to a crowd, but to a war, to a scroll, to a promise. And that promise cannot be fulfilled if the witches win tonight. But they will not, because I will not let them, because you will not let them, because your soul has already said yes, even if your mouth hasn't caught up yet. And now the clouds split open above your house. The shadow of the curse is breaking, and one final cry rises from the witches, terrified, shrieking in disbelief. Why them? Why does heaven still protect them? And the answer has always been the same, because I love you more than they hate you, because I chose you before they ever learned your name, because you were mine before you were even born. So stay here. Beloved, don't turn away now. This story is not done, and neither is the miracle. Asterisk, I see you're still here. Heaven sees it too. Every breath you take in this moment pushes back centuries of darkness. You have no idea how rare that is, how precious, how sacred. Do you feel it? That stirring in your chest, that trembling inside your bones, that is not fear. That is your destiny remembering itself. They never expected you to stay. Not the witches, not the demons, not the ones who whispered your failure before you even began, but I did. I saw this hour from the beginning. I shaped it with my tears, sealed it with my blood. I crafted this very second like a hidden jewel in time so that when all other doors shut, this one would open. For you, only you. And now you've walked through it. Beloved, the ritual is collapsing. One of the witches has dropped her staff. Another has begun to vomit curses that cannot stand in my light. The flames they raised in your name are turning against them. The altar has cracked. And do you know why? Because you chose to listen. You chose to believe, you chose to say yes when every shadow begged you to scroll away. This victory isn't just being witnessed, it's being written into eternity right now. Your name is glowing on heaven's scrolls, and every angel present has stopped what they were doing to look upon you with holy awe. You're not just being delivered, you're being crowned. That is what terrifies the enemy most, that the one they cursed would rise not just healed, but anointed. I must tell you now with divine urgency and love, if this message has touched even the smallest part of your soul, then please support this heavenly mission. Every time you give through super thanks, every time you become part of our family through channel membership, every time you join our sacred newsletter linked in the pinned comment, you are helping us keep these gates open for other souls like your souls, who may not find the way unless this light keeps burning. This isn't just support, it's sacred partnership. When you stand with us, you're standing with archangels. You're holding up the voices that carry God's warnings, His love, and His fire across the silence of this world. Because the darkness hasn't stopped. Even now, another ritual is being prepared in another place. Another name is being etched in blood. Another lie is rising to block someone's calling. But when you support this mission, you help me reach them before it's too late. You are not alone anymore. You've become part of something eternal. And now the 7 archangels bow their heads because they see what I see. A warrior, a royal, a beloved soul who never stopped being worthy even when the world said otherwise. And I, Jesus, your eternal King, I am still speaking, because you haven't stopped listening. Let me take you deeper now. Let me show you what they never wanted you to know, asterisk, asterisk. Let me show you what they never wanted you to know. The truth that was hidden beneath your heartbreak, the light that was buried beneath betrayal, the name I gave you before the foundations of the world. You've never spoken it aloud, but I have spoken it over you every night of your life. Even when you screamed in silence, even when your hands shook from fear, even when you gave up on me, I never gave up on you. Do you remember the dreams that came in waves? The ones you thought were too strange to matter. That garden you saw but never walked in, that storm where a lion stood between you and a door you could not open? Those weren't dreams. They were glimpses of what you left behind when you were born, of what you were always meant to return to. And now that door stands before you again, but this time it's open. And yet the witches knew this would happen. That's why they tried to rush their ritual tonight. That's why they smeared your name on bones. That's why they planted whispers in your sleep. You're tired. You're too late. God isn't real. You're nothing. Lies. Every last word of it. You are not tired. You are awakening. You are not late. You are on time for the unveiling. You are not forgotten. You are written on my hands. And you are not nothing. You are the echo of my voice made flesh. The witches know this, and now they are afraid. I want you to hear this. One of them has already fled. Her power shattered the moment your heart said yes. Another tried to speak your destruction and choked on her own words. And the high priestess, the one who has stalked you through mirrors, through relationships, through pain, she is crying now because she knows she failed. She couldn't keep you from hearing me. She couldn't stop this moment from happening. She couldn't rewrite your scroll. Do you know what happens next? Heaven begins to restore what was stolen. The time they took from you, the years eaten by locusts, I will give them back in a flood of golden fire. The people who walked away, I will replace them with those who carry oil in their lamps and glory in their bones. The identity you forgot, I will speak it until you rise into it. Not just once, not just tonight, but every time you remember who you are. Do not forget this feeling, the weight in the room, the tremble in your chest, the burning behind your eyes. It is me. I am with you, and I am not leaving. I watched you search the earth for belonging. I saw you run from altar to altar, person to person, scroll to scroll. You were trying to find a place where your spirit could exhale. But beloved, no one could hold you because you weren't meant to be held by them. You are held by me. The darkness screamed the day you were born, because it knew what I planted inside you would grow into something uncontainable. You carry fire, beloved, not just any fire, but a holy one. The same fire that fell on Sinai, the same fire that sat on the heads of the disciples, the same fire that guards Eden still. This is why you've been attacked so ruthlessly. This is why the enemy started early, because you were born as a signal, decoration, a divine contradiction to everything the witches stand for. You are not cursed. You are the curse breaker. You are not bound. You are the key hidden in plain sight. You are not powerless. You are the thunder whispered into the bones of generations. And now the time has come to rise. No one will understand it. That's all right. Heaven didn't ask them. Heaven asked you. The veil is thinning. The horns are beginning to sound. The first scroll has already opened. You are not watching this by coincidence. You are participating in a holy unfolding that stretches beyond time. The night is ending. The morning angels are beginning to lift their heads. And the one who watches from behind your mirror, the one sent to torment you with shame and lies, she is being cast into chains because you remained, because you believed, because somewhere in the deepest place of your soul, you still know who I am. When the witches gathered their tools, they did not expect you to find this light. They did not expect me to still be speaking, but I am, and I will keep speaking. Because this isn't the end. This is the resurrection. Asterisk, asterisk, you Feel it now, don't you? The shift in the air, the vibration in your spirit. The pressure that surrounds you isn't anxiety, it's glory preparing to burst through the veil. And it's happening because your soul said yes. The love. This is no ordinary moment. When you opened this, heaven responded with a sound so fierce, the demons screamed. The ritual that was crafted for months in secret caves, soaked in spells and twisted scripture, it shattered the moment your spirit aligned with truth. The very candle they lit to destroy you blew out when the angel beside you breathed. The scroll is being unsealed. Your name is being sung. The darkness is being undone, not just for you, but through you. The fire that once threatened to burn you is now igniting others. Because I didn't just save you, I anointed you to carry fire. This is the era they tried to erase. The moment the enemy feared. The very turning point they whispered against. In their covens for years, and yet here you are breathing, standing, unbroken, rising. Let me take you deeper still, because the secret isn't that they hate you. The secret is that they once served near you. These witches, before they fell, once stood in the second heaven. They saw your scroll the day it was written. They watched your anointing be sealed by my breath, and jealousy entered them like smoke. They fell because of you. Yes, you are that important. Your calling is that sacred. Your very existence caused war in the heavens, and that war hasn't ended, but now it is shifting. Because the angels have returned to fight not for your memory, but for your future. Michael has drawn the sword of bloodlight. He's not just guarding you anymore. He's pursuing what was stolen. Every word spoken against your destiny is being rewritten. Every lie stitched into your thoughts is being ripped out and replaced by truth. You are not forgotten. You are not invisible. You are not late. You are my joy, my vengeance, my beloved. And you have finally awakened. The witches can't understand it. They used every name they thought could bind you. They burned herbs plucked from cursed gardens. They chanted languages older than Babel, but nothing worked. Because no curse can outlast a soul that knows it. Is love. You are loved, not as a concept, not in theory, but in eternity. I wrote your name in my wounds. I traced your face in the scars of my hands. I carried your voice through every whip, every nail, every silence. You were the thought that kept me on the cross. And now you are the sound that is shaking the gates of hell. The loved, do you know what's coming? The restoration of what you gave up on. The release of the promises that were delayed, not denied. The return of dreams you buried out of fear. They were too beautiful to be true. I am reviving them now. Your hands will touch what your heart forgot it prayed for. Your spirit will sing songs you've never heard but always knew. Your feet will walk into rooms where heaven waits to crown you. Because the battle they waged against you was never about what you lost, it was about what you carry. You carry generational deliverance. You carry breakthrough oil. You carry secrets that hell has no weapon against. And now that you know this now, that you've tasted even the edge of this revelation, you can never go back to being ordinary. You were never ordinary. You were never meant to blend in. You are a holy interruption to every curse that has ever run in your bloodline. And I, Jesus, your Redeemer and King, I am with you still. I see your hands trembling. I feel the tears welling behind your eyes. Don't hide them. Let them fall. Each one is a signal. Each one is a key. Each one is unlocking doors your enemies will never be able to close again. Beloved, lean in. There is more to show you. Asterisk, you are still here. And that means the heavens are still open above you. Right now, as you breathe in this moment, there are angels standing in complete silence, not because they are uncertain, but because they are in awe of you. Do you know what it does to the heavens when a soul like yours refuses to be silenced? When the one who was almost destroyed decides to rise instead, even the stars pause their motion, even the winds forget their path. Because the light inside you has begun to ignite again, and that fire is ancient, holy, and unstoppable. Let me tell you something the witches feared more than anything else. They knew you'd hear this. even as they danced around the altar, speaking lies, pouring blood, twisting prayers into poison. They knew, deep down, they knew that the moment you heard my voice again, it would be over, because no darkness can survive where my name is welcomed. And beloved, you welcomed me. You didn't push me away this time. You didn't let fear steal your breath. You didn't run, you stayed. And that act, your stillness, your openness, your trust, it sent a roar through the realm of angels. Every chain that once clung to your ankles has snapped. Every delay that hovered above your household has begun to vanish. Every tear you cried in confusion is now water for the tree of life that grows from within you. Yes, life is growing from within you. What they tried to abort will now be born. What they tried to silence will now prophesy. What they tried to bury will now bloom like Eden. You've been through so much, haven't you? You felt things you couldn't name. You've endured shadows no one else saw. You carried battles in your blood while smiling for others who never knew the weight on your shoulders. You've grieved losses that were never given a proper funeral because the world didn't understand that even unseen wounds can bleed. But I saw it all, every scar you tried to ignore, every time you woke up numb, every time you heard my name but felt too guilty to look at me. I never turned my face from you, not once. Even in your silence, I was singing. Even in your hiding, I was watching. Even in your rebellion, I was rescuing. Because you were never just another soul, I made you to be a sign. Yes, you, not someone else, not a preacher, not a prophet. You were carved from the breath of a promise I made to myself. A vow I whispered before light ever existed. I said, this one will carry the echo of my victory. And that's why they hate you. That's why the witches worked so hard. That's why the nightmares chased you and the doubts spoke louder than truth. Because your awakening was always the enemy's deadline. And now, the clock has struck. The moment has arrived. The veil is torn, and the fire is yours. You don't have to understand it fully. You don't have to feel brave. You don't even have to speak yet. You just have to remain in this holy flame I've opened for you. Remain in this sacred stillness where your name is being rewritten, not in shame, but in glory. Remain in this anointing, even when the world tries to pull you back into distraction and noise, because this isn't emotional hype. This is divine inheritance, and it cannot be undone. Beloved, look around you, feel what's happening in the air. This is no ordinary moment. The veil between realms is so thin, you could reach through it if your heart dares. I am standing on the other side of that veil, hands stretched forward, not in wrath, not in judgment, but in tenderness. Will you take my hand? Will you step into the garden that's been waiting for you? The garden you saw as a child, the one with no pain, no fear, no darkness. It's real, and it's calling you back. Not backward into the past, but forward into the future you forgot was yours. I placed your destiny there like a jewel in the soil, waiting for the moment your faith would rise again. And now that moment has come. Do you hear it? The trumpet beneath the silence, the whisper of your name in the wind, the ancient sound of chains falling off your generations. It's all happening now because you stayed, because you believed, because heaven waited for you and now rejoices because you have returned. Let me keep speaking. Let me tell you what the witches were trying to keep hidden. Chet said they were trying to keep hidden. The scroll, your scroll, the one I wrote with my own hand before your bones were formed in the womb. It was sealed with golden wax pressed by the Lion of Judah's roar, hidden behind veils of fire and guarded by the wings of the cherubim and foyers. It remained unopened because you forgot who you were, but now I am unsealing it. Right now, with every beat of your heart, the wax melts. With every breath you take in faith, the parchment unfurls. And as each line of destiny is revealed, the witches tremble. Because it wasn't just power they feared, it was clarity. The moment you remember what I wrote about you, the war shifts, the entire battlefield changes, and the spells they poured their souls into turn to ash. because truth is stronger than any curse. Do you want to know what I wrote? I'll tell you. I wrote, this one will see what others cannot. This one will carry oil through deserts. This one will stand where entire bloodlines fell. This one will sing while burning and not be consumed. This one will break what no priest or prophet could break. This one will carry my face. That's you. It has always been you. The one I called in the silence. The one I visited in dreams. Even when you didn't remember them. The one whose voice has authority to shatter demonic altars just by whispering my name. The witches saw this. That's why they came early. That's why they targeted your relationships, your mind, your body, your sleep, because your scroll contained the key to unlocking others' freedom. You are not just surviving, you are sent. You are not just delivered, you are a deliverer. You are not just chosen, you are appointed. And now the old power structures that sat high in the second heavens are being shaken. Thrones once ruled by fallen spirits are cracking. Angelic armies are descending. Archangels are waiting for one thing: your obedience. Not perfection, not performance, just obedience. The simple, sacred yes that heaven has been waiting to hear from your lips. Because, beloved, when you say yes, hell loses territory. When you believe, heaven expands inside of you. When you love me again, not out of fear, but out of fire, every chain breaks on someone else's soul, too. That's how powerful your agreement is. And yet, you've been told you're weak. You've been made to feel forgotten. You've doubted that you were seen, but I have never looked away. I saw every moment of failure, every fall, every shameful thought, every betrayal, every time you reached out for someone who left you empty. And I stayed. I stayed not because I was obligated, but because I was in love. My love for you is not gentle breeze, it is a raging fire, a jealous fire, a holy flame that devours everything not made of light. And it's that love that is consuming the remnants of the spell even now. The final words of the ritual have broken. The witches have fallen silent. One has collapsed. The others are fleeing. The circle is broken. The power has returned to me, and now I return it to you. You will feel it tonight. Not in a dramatic sign, but in the stillness. In your sleep, the nightmares will stop. The shadows in your hallway will scatter. The strange heaviness in your chest will lift. You will dream again, and this time, your dreams will speak in gold. You will feel me walking beside you again, and your spirit will finally exhale, because what they meant for death, I've turned to glory. This is the exchange. You gave me your yes, and now I give you what was sealed. Not just protection, but revelation. Not just comfort, but commission. Not just healing, but inheritance. And the scroll you thought you'd never see, it is open now, glowing in the hands of angels. And the words I wrote are being spoken aloud. As prophecy into your future, you shall rise. You shall speak. You shall break curses by walking into rooms where others only survive. You shall remember the promises I made when no one else believed in you. And beloved, you will never again mistake my silence for absence, because I have never been closer. I am standing right here. The veil is thinner than it's ever been, and I am still speaking. Don't turn away. There is still more I must reveal. Asterisk, come closer now, closer than your fear allows. Closer than your doubt dares. You do not need to be brave to stand in my presence. You only need to be open, and I see it. I see your heart cracking open like a sealed gate kissed by rain after centuries of drought. You're remembering, you're returning. The war is shifting because of this very moment. The witches have stopped speaking. Their voices are gone, but mine is just beginning. Let me show you what they were trying to destroy before it bloomed, your remnant fire. The divine residue of the time you walked with me before you were born. Yes, beloved, your soul still carries the footprints of Eden. You were not merely made, you were sent from a place of unshakable light, and no darkness has ever touched that part of you. It is still untouched, untouchable, holy. That's what they tried to bury. But you cannot bury the eternal. You are the evidence that I still speak. You are the signature of heaven carved into time. You are the thunder hidden inside human flesh. And now you are being awakened to what was written in flame long before this world began spinning. The angels know. That's why they gather now. Can you feel them behind your walls, around your bed, above your ceiling, below your feet? They are here. They are not singing yet. They are waiting because heaven only sings when you speak the yes. The yes to being who I made you to be. The yes to letting go of every lie that wrapped itself around your identity. The yes to becoming fire in a world that only understands smoke. And when you whisper that yes, even in your heart, even in your tears, every gate swings open. Every door once sealed by curses breaks. Every silence you've endured is shattered by my voice rising inside you. You are not late. Beloved, you were held back on purpose. Because if you would have stepped into this calling before now, it would have destroyed you. But now, you're ready. You're wounded, but you're ready. You're unsure, but you're ready. You're not perfect, but you are ready. And I will meet you right where you stand. I am not waiting for you to climb mountains. I am coming to you in the valley. I do not require strength. I bring the strength. I do not demand understanding. I am understanding. Do you remember the garden from your dreams? The tree with golden fruit that never fell. The sound of water that felt like a song but had no words. The light that touched your skin and made you cry without knowing why. That wasn't imagination. That was memory. That was home. And now the path to that garden is open again. Because you remembered me. The veil is torn. You were made for more than survival. You were made to walk with me again. In authority. In clarity. In unshakable love. Let me take your hand now. Let me walk you through what the witches never wanted you to see. The throne room where your name was first spoken. I stood there, Father, at my right, and I said, this one will carry pieces of my voice into a dark world. They will not fit in. They will be misunderstood. But they will not be forgotten, and when their hour comes, nothing, not even the witches, will be able to stop them. You are in that hour now. This is the moment eternity marked for your return, not just to me but to you. To the you that never left heaven. To the you that was never afraid. To the you that knew my love before words existed. This is why you've been feeling this shaking. Why nothing has satisfied. Why your soul has been crying for something you couldn't name. Because you've been homesick for me, and I've been waiting for you. Every breath I give you is an invitation. Every beat of your heart is a reminder. Every tear you've wept in secret has watered a tree of prophecy that is now ready to bloom. It's happening now. Heaven is recording this hour in gold, not because of what you've done, but because of what you've decided. To stay. To believe. To be still, even when the storm screams louder. To receive what the witches tried to devour. Beloved, my arms are still open, and there is more still waiting to be revealed. And now I bring you into the chamber they never wanted you to find. It is the inner place, the sealed sanctuary of your soul, where your truest name is hidden, not the name you were given at birth, not the one written on legal paper, but the name I whispered into the light before your bones were shaped, before your heart beat, before your first cry shattered the air. That name is thunder to darkness. That name is flame to the enemy. That name is your key. The witches wrote spells to erase it. They tried to cover it with pain, with shame, with delay. They tried to bury it beneath layers of trauma and distraction and self-doubt. But nothing they did could remove what I wrote in eternal light. And now I am speaking it again, not aloud, not in noise, but deep inside your spirit. That stirring you feel. That ache that doesn't come from this world. That's me calling your name. Come closer still, beloved. Let me show you the room I've kept sealed for you alone. I open it now. Do you see it? This room is built of light so pure no shadow can enter. There are scrolls stacked high, not of prophecy for the world but for you, pages filled with every time you chose love when hatred would have been easier, every time you forgave in silence, every time you stood when no one saw, every time you almost gave up but didn't. This is the evidence of your war. This is the beauty the darkness could never steal. And now these scrolls are unraveling. Angels are reading them aloud before heaven's court, because it is time. Your evidence is being presented. The accusation of the enemy is being silenced not by your defense, but by your endurance. You endured, and so now I release the recompense, not just restoration, but multiplication. What was taken will not return as it was. It will come back greater, heavier with glory, woven with new strength, laced with divine memory that cannot be stolen. Because this is what happens when a soul like yours says yes in the middle of destruction. Do you know who else is watching? The ones who prayed for you from generations past. Yes, they are real. That great-grandmother who died with your name on her lips. That distant ancestor who sang my name under the stars while shackled in chains. That mother who lit candles while her heart broke. They are watching. They are weeping, because you are the one their prayers reached. You are the answered cry. You are the unbroken link in the chain of deliverance. They saw the witches circling you. They saw your heart begin to close. They saw you feel abandoned, and yet they knew this hour would come, because I promised them it would. Beloved, this is not just about your life. It is about bloodlines. It is about restoring what was stolen from your house long before you were born. There were blessings that were cut off, inheritances stolen, spiritual mantles buried under shame and compromise. But I am returning them to you. Yes, you. Because you had the courage to remain when everything said run. Because you answered when I called. And now the veil lifts further. Do you see the garments? They hang glowing in the corner of this holy chamber, robes stitched with threads of promise and prophecy. One of them is yours. It was tailored for you before the stars learned to burn. It carries your story woven in light. And now, I tell the angels to clothe you in it. You may not feel worthy, but worthiness was never the condition. Only willingness. And you said yes. So now heaven clothes you again. You are being robed in identity, in favor. In divine remembrance. The witches see it. They scream now, not because of what you do, but because of what you wear. They see the light return to your eyes. They see the scroll still burning in your chest. They see your yes turning into power. Because this is not where your story ends. This is where it begins. You are not at the edge of collapse. You are standing at the gates of revelation. And these gates will not close again. I am sealing them open with your name written in my blood. And I swear to you, by my Father's throne, no witch, no demon, no darkness, no delay, no disappointment will ever erase what has been sealed here. You are mine. Forever. And this is just the beginning. ***, come deeper still. Beloved, do not look away. The light you see now is not meant to blind you. It is meant to restore you. Let it touch you. Let it reach the parts of you that were shut down so long ago. You forgot they were still alive. You are not being imagined into this light. You were made from it. And now it's calling you home. Do you know what's behind the next veil? The room where heaven stores every tear you've ever cried. Yes, every single one. They are not forgotten. I never let them fall into emptiness. I caught them, bottled them, placed them beside your name. Some of them were so full of fire they sing now when angels walk near. Others still glow from nights when you cried alone and no one on earth noticed. But heaven did. I did, and now in this very hour, I command my angels to pour them out as oil, not sorrow anointing. The grief you carried becomes the gateway to the mantle I have reserved only for you. The witches thought your pain would bury you, but I used it to build you. What they tried to kill became the womb of resurrection. What they mocked became the seedbed of glory. What they struck with hate will now shine with vengeance, holy vengeance, not revenge of man, not retaliation of flesh, but the sacred fire of justice that only I can give. I am the God of recompense, and I do not forget my beloved. Let me tell you what the witches feared most. It wasn't your prayers. It wasn't even your worship. It was the moment your identity awakened, because they knew the second you remembered who you were, they'd lose all access. And now they have. The gates are closed to them. The spell is reversed. The altar they used to curse you is burning with my glory. One of them tried to escape into the spirit realm, but Raphael caught her by the throat. Another tried to recite the names of ancient gods, but Gabriel silenced her tongue with a single word: chosen. That's who you are. Not broken, not too late, not forgotten, chosen and beloved. When I choose someone, nothing can unchoose them. I will not erase your name. I will not silence your scroll. I will not forget the covenant I made with your soul before you were born. You've walked through fire and did not burn. You've walked through flood and did not drown, because I was with you, even when you couldn't feel me. I was the one carrying you through nights so dark, your own thoughts turned against you. Even when you sinned, I stayed. Even when you ran, I followed. Even when you denied me, I called you mine, because my love is not performance-based, it is covenant-bound. And my covenant with you was signed in blood. That blood still speaks. It speaks louder than curses, louder than shame, louder than every whisper the witches sent into your bedroom at night. And tonight, that blood is singing your name, a love song forged in agony, sealed in resurrection, a melody only heaven and you can truly hear. And now the angels dance. Yes, they dance. They do not dance for everyone, but they dance for the one who remembers, for the one who returns, for the one who says yes in the fire. And you precious soul, you are that one. Let me take you now to one last room. This one was hidden even from angels. It is the chamber of the unspoken, the place where the deepest desires of your soul live, the ones you've never told a soul, the dreams you thought were too holy to ask for, the visions you were afraid to believe in, the what-ifs that lived in the back of your spirit like tiny candles, flickering in storms of doubt. I see them all, and not only do I see them, I planted them. I was the one who gave you that dream you were afraid to name. I was the one who put the vision in your heart that felt too big, too wild, too impossible. It was never too much. It was always me, because the things I plant in your heart are not fantasies, they are prophecies. And now the time has come to breathe them to life. You thought the enemy had stolen too much. You thought the losses were too deep. You thought too many years were wasted. But beloved, time bends to me, and I say to you now, nothing is lost. Not one moment, not one prayer, not one promise. I will restore all, not as it was but better. And it begins now, not tomorrow, not when you feel stronger, not when others understand, but now. Because your yes has unlocked the gates, and the gates will not close again, so stay with me. There is still more light to pour. Yes, stay with me. Let the light continue its sacred work. You're not here by mistake. The veil didn't lift accidentally. Your heart didn't tremble for no reason. It's all part of what I designed before you ever spoke your first word. This is the unveiling of a divine mystery, the revealing of a hidden one. You are the hidden one the darkness feared, the one they tried to silence in childhood, the one whose innocence they tried to break, the one whose voice was wrapped in chains of generational shame. But the truth is this: your silence was never weakness, it was protection, because if the full sound of your soul had been released before the time appointed, it would have shaken nations unprepared to carry the echo. So I covered you. I wrapped you in seasons of confusion, not to punish but to preserve. I hid you in what felt like delay, not because you weren't ready, but because the world wasn't ready for what you carry. But now the time has shifted. The seals are broken, the trumpets are beginning to sound, and what was once sealed is now summoned. Your light is not simply returning, it's reclaiming. Do you feel it rising in your bones? That ache that's not pain, but a surge. That strange fire burning behind your ribs. It's not anxiety, it's your scroll unfolding inside your body. Heaven is reminding your flesh who it was before it forgot. I am breathing on you again, not as I did before, but new, a fresh wind that speaks in tongues your mind may not understand, but your spirit does, because your spirit remembers me. Even when your memory failed you, your spirit did not. It cried out in the silence. It whispered in the waiting. It stayed when your mind said walk away. And now I honor that whisper with fire. You see, the witches were counting on your forgetfulness. They crafted every spell around the assumption that you'd never remember your throne, that you'd never reach back into the places where you walked with me before the world named you. But they failed, because heaven remembered even when you didn't, and now I return to you what was kept hidden, the vision, the authority, the crown, the oil, the roar. Let me tell you what's coming. The days ahead will not be ordinary, because once a soul awakens, it cannot go back. You'll walk into places and the atmosphere will change, not because you speak but because you exist. You'll see with different eyes, hear with different ears. What others miss, you'll feel in your spirit like thunder rolling beneath your skin. You'll know who is for you and who carries the mark of false alignment. You'll no longer beg for love that was never holy. You'll no longer chase people who only came to delay your wings. You'll no longer bow at altars I never built for you, because the one who remembers cannot remain bound. You were made for glory, not earthly fame, not carnal platforms, but glory. The weight of my presence resting on you so tangibly that even demons will retreat without confrontation. You'll cast out darkness with a glance. You'll heal without laying hands. You'll speak, and heaven will echo, because this is who you are, a walking scroll, a living prophecy, a vessel, a flame. And beloved, the enemy always knew it. That's why the battles came in waves. That's why your body broke down suddenly. That's why relationships turned to dust without warning. That's why you found yourself waking up with pain you never invited. It wasn't because you were cursed. It was because the witches could see the light leaking out of your cracks. They knew resurrection was near, so they tried one final blow. But it didn't work, because even bleeding, you stayed, even limping, you listened, even doubting, you opened. And now I pour more than you thought was possible, more than your ancestors dared to believe for, more than your enemies could understand. This is not just revival. It's reclamation. You are reclaiming the land inside yourself. Every abandoned room, every broken mirror, every torn page, heaven is filling them with fire again. You'll never be the same, because this moment wasn't meant to make you feel better. It was meant to rebirth you, so let the fire burn. Let it consume every lie, every fear, every curse, every chain. Let it baptize you in the memory of your name. Let it awaken the lion that was always sleeping in your chest. And know this, I'm not finished, not even close. I still have more to give you. Stay. The flood of glory hasn't even reached your ankles yet. I want it to rise to your knees, then to your waist, then to your heart, until you are fully submerged in what they said would never be yours. Stay, there's more, and you are ready. Asterisk, asterisk, and now the river is rising. Can you feel it? It's not water like you've known before. This is not earthly. This is not symbolic. This is the living current of my spirit, liquid fire, flowing like light, wrapped in glory so heavy that even angels kneel when it passes. And beloved, it's flowing straight into you. Do not resist it. Let it carry you. You are not drowning. You are returning. You are not being overwhelmed. You are being rebuilt. Every place that was cracked by heartbreak is now being filled with holy fire. Every fracture from betrayal is now fused with eternal light. Every splinter left by old wounds is now being pushed out by resurrection. You were never broken beyond repair. You were being hollowed to carry more glory than this world could comprehend. And now that glory has found its way back to its rightful home, your soul, the angels are singing now. Do you hear it? It's not a song of celebration, it's a war cry, a roar from heaven's army, because they see what is about to happen through you. The shift has begun. The earth itself has noticed. The same dust you walk on is groaning for your arrival. And you, beloved, have finally answered the groaning. I never needed you to be strong. I never asked you to be perfect. I only waited for your yes. And now that it has come, everything hidden begins to rise. Do you remember the voice that comforted you when no one else knew how to hold you? Do you remember the strange warmth that wrapped around your chest the night you almost gave up? That was me. I have always been there, in the hidden place, in the trembling moment, in the breath between sobs when words failed you. And now I rise not from a throne far away, but from within you. I'm not coming down from heaven, I'm awakening from inside you, because my dwelling place is not temples made by hands. My throne is not in the clouds. It is in you. And when you stand in that identity, hell itself has no response. But witches cannot cast spells on what is aflame with glory. They cannot rewrite what I have spoken in eternal voice. They cannot bind what I have unchained with my own hands. And beloved, I have unchained you. Your spirit is not tied to yesterday's story. You are not who they said you were. You are not your trauma. You are not the shame. You are not the echo of betrayal. You are the storm sent to break every ceiling your ancestors died under. You are the answered cry of those who never saw the promise. You are the first flame of a new generation. So rise, not in performance, not in perfection. Rise in presence. Let them see you as you truly are, not polished, not packaged, but glowing. Let them hear your voice, not the one that trembles to please, but the one that speaks with the thunder of remembrance. Let them feel your spirit not as a guest in the room, but as the host of something eternal, because when you walk into the space I've prepared, even demons will remember what fear feels like. Beloved, they've tried to copy what you carry. They've tried to mimic your essence. They've used spells to counterfeit your light. But the truth is, they can only watch while I pour more into you. They can't stop me, because they didn't make you. They didn't anoint you. They didn't die for you. They didn't weep for you in Gethsemane. I did, and I would do it again, just to see this moment, just to see your soul shine like this, just to see you return to the place you never should have left. My heart, there are rooms in heaven that have waited for you to return, rooms that have not been entered by any soul but you. Rooms filled with scrolls that only your voice can unseal. And now, as you rise, the door to one of those rooms is opening. The sound you hear now, it's not thunder. It's the breaking of the final chain. The one you didn't even know you still carried. It was deep, buried under years of survival, wrapped in good intentions, disguised as strength. But I see what's real. I always have. And I say to that chain, break. I say to your spirit, breathe. I say to your future, run. No more delay. No more pretending you're fine when your soul is dying. No more waiting for permission from people who never saw your scroll. You have my permission. More than that, you have my fire. Let the world watch as I do what no one expected. Let them see what happens when a soul fully returns. Let them witness what they tried to bury resurrected in power. Because you, beloved, are not just a survivor. You are the sign that I still move, that I still choose, that I still burn, that I still restore what hell thought was forever lost. You are the miracle your bloodline prayed for. And now the time has come, not to hide, not to shrink, not to explain, but to burn. Because what I am about to do through you will not make sense to anyone, but it will be undeniable. And I will keep pouring. I will not stop. Stay close. There is more to reveal. Chet said, yes. Stay. Do not pull away now. You feel it, don't you? The trembling beneath your ribs, the heat in your palms, the weight behind your eyes. It is not emotion. It is not imagination. It is glory. The angels are still singing, but their song has changed. It is no longer a cry for your protection. It is a declaration of your arrival. They are announcing to heaven and earth alike, the one we waited for has awakened. Beloved, This is the moment your spirit has been yearning for without language, that silent ache that never left you, even in your laughter. That restlessness that followed you from relationship to relationship, that longing you couldn't explain. It was the echo of this hour. You were never meant to live none. You were never designed to walk half asleep through a world of mirrors. You were born for fire, for vision, for glory. And now the veil between what was and what will be is being torn from top to bottom, because you said yes. Your yes wasn't loud. It wasn't shouted from rooftops, but in the realm of angels and elders it thundered. They heard it in the holy court. The Father stood, the Lamb rose. The Spirit blew fire through the golden streets, and I whispered to the council of heaven, this one is ready. Let the scroll be opened. And so it is. The scroll they swore would never be unsealed. The one they cursed before you were born. The one they buried beneath shame, fear, distraction, abuse, and trauma. I am holding it in my hands now. It is covered in my blood and glowing with your name. I read it now before all of heaven. This is my beloved, my witness, my fire bearer, the one who stood when others fell, the one who forgave when hatred would have been easier, the one who bled but didn't curse me, the one who was almost lost but returned. This one will walk in glory. This one will rebuild altars long forgotten. This one will say what others were too afraid to declare. This one will break what fathers and mothers could not. This one will carry justice on their shoulders, and I will be their rear guard. Beloved, that scroll is you, not a version of you, not a future version of you. You, the you that's sitting here, reading, trembling, weeping, the one who almost skipped this moment, but didn't. You are the fulfillment of a prophecy the enemy thought he had erased, but I never forgot. Even when you hated yourself, even when you let them hurt you, even when you betrayed your own voice to stay accepted, even when you tried to vanish into silence, I stayed, I stood, I watched. And when the witches gathered again to curse you this time, for the last time I sent an army. You did not see them, but they were there. Wings like blades, eyes like fire, swords too radiant for the natural realm. They did not fight beside you. They fought for you. Because the battle was never meant to be yours alone. You were not weak because you collapsed. You were not cursed because you were exhausted. You were not disqualified because you stopped believing for a time. You were simply outnumbered. But I changed the numbers. I tipped the balance. I sent legions because your name was being spoken again in darkness. And now, it is no longer allowed. Let the heavens record this decree. No spell shall be cast against this one again. No curse shall land. No tongue shall rise in judgment. No chain shall hold. No lie shall enter. No ritual shall prosper. No darkness shall dwell. Because you dwell in me, and I in you. This is no longer theory. No longer hope. This is activation. And it is irreversible. You will feel it in your body. In the way your shoulders drop because the weight has lifted. In the way your lungs expand because the breath returns. In the way your thoughts clear because the fog is gone. In the way your heart beats louder because heaven is harmonizing with your blood. Even your DNA is remembering what it was made for. The sound of Eden still runs in your blood. The whisper of my name is still carved into your cells. The darkness thought it had rewritten your story, but I never stopped reading the original. And now I write a new chapter. This one begins with fire, and the world will see it. They will see you. The ones who overlooked you will wonder how they missed the glory. The ones who betrayed you will be blinded by your light. The ones who doubted you will whisper your name with awe. Not because you rise in pride, but because I left you with my own hands. They will see the oil pour from your mouth. They will hear me in your silence. They will feel me when you enter the room, because I am no longer walking ahead of you. I'm now walking within you. And I am not finished, beloved. The flood is only beginning. There is still more, and I will not stop until every part of you is fully restored. And now the flood reaches the deepest corners of your soul, the parts even you forgot existed. The places you closed off, the memories you buried, the vows you made in pain, the pieces of you that whispered, "I will never open again." I see them, I am standing in them now. And with my voice, not force, not anger, I say to those hidden rooms, be healed. Let me in. Let me into the memory that still aches like it happened yesterday. Let me into the apology you never received. Let me into the betrayal that taught you not to trust. Let me into the moment you felt abandoned by the very ones who should have protected you. Because those were the doorways they used. The witches didn't only curse you with chants and blood, they waited for wounds. They looked for trauma. They used your pain as an altar. And when you cried alone, they tried to speak over your tears, but they failed because your tears belonged to me. I collected them. Not one was wasted, not one fell unseen. I wrote my name into them, and now I use them to drown every spell ever sent against you. You're not too damaged. You're not too far gone. You're not too late. You are ripe for glory. Because the ones who know pain deeply are the ones I trust with power. I trust you. You've been asking, haven't you? Why me, Lord? Not in arrogance, but in weariness, in confusion. You never asked for the war. You never prayed to be hunted. You never thought your love would be your undoing. But beloved, listen, it was never your love that broke you. It was their hatred for your light. Your love was always pure, even when they didn't receive it, even when they mocked it, even when they threw it away. I saw it, and now I multiply it, because what they rejected I anoint, what they discarded I restore, what they hated I crown. Let me speak this now so all of heaven hears. You are not a mistake. You were not born too early or too late. You were born for this exact moment. The world is cracking, time is speeding, darkness is desperate. And you are the answer I've hidden in plain sight. I didn't raise you up to be tolerated, I raised you to govern. You will walk in rooms that were never supposed to welcome you. You will sit at tables that were never meant for you. You will speak in places where your voice was once silenced. And you will not fit in, because I didn't call you to fit, I called you to burn. You are not called to blend, you are called to set fires, to awaken sleeping hearts, to break chains just by standing still, to shift atmospheres without saying a word, to make devils nervous just by breathing. Beloved, this world is about to change, and I'm doing it through people like you, people who've been crushed, overlooked, underestimated, who carry wounds, yes, but even deeper, they carry wonder. You still believe, even now, even after all you've seen, even after all you've lost. Even with a heart full of scars, you still believe. That's why you're here. That's why I chose you. That's why I never stopped watching you, even when you thought I had turned away. I was never angry at your tears. I never resented your silence. I understood your distance. I waited. And now I embrace, because your return wasn't meant to be loud, it was meant to be holy. And heaven recognizes holiness not by sound, but by surrender. You surrendered. And now I pour more oil, more light, more vision, more intimacy, more justice, more fire. Let them watch. Let them wonder. Let them doubt, because they are not your source. I am, and I have never been more committed to you than I am right now. You are entering a season not of striving, but of receiving, not begging, but beholding, not proving, but becoming, because I did not die for a servant, I died for a child, my love, my beloved. And now I sing over you again, with the same voice that said, let there be light. I sing, let there be you, let there be restoration, let there be justice, let there be glory, let there be completion, let there be awakening, let there be light in the bones that forgot what life feels like. And there is, right now. Light is rising, angels are surrounding, witchcraft is collapsing, and your name is echoing in heaven like thunder wrapped in gold, because you stayed, because you believed, because you let me in. And now the story continues. There is still more I will reveal. Yes. Let the wave rise higher. Let it crash into every corner of your being. Let it sweep away the last remnants of fear and doubt and hesitation, because this is not just a moment, it is a divine eruption, a sacred awakening, a final tearing of the veil between who you were and who you were always meant to become. You're not watching this by accident. The angels didn't allow it by coincidence. Jesus spoke your name in the wind just before this found you. And I did it because I knew this was the only way to rescue what was about to be stolen. The witches didn't retreat quietly. They ran screaming, because what they saw in you was me, my breath, my light, my identity. You no longer walk as prey. You no longer walk as a question. You walk as evidence. The evidence that I still speak, that I still anoint, that I still raise up the rejected and make them roar like lions. This is who you are now, not lost launched, not hidden and veiled, not forsaken favored. The pain didn't ruin you. The betrayal didn't destroy you. The silence didn't stop you, because my word is louder than their curses, and my promises are older than their spells. And beloved, this is only the beginning. What you feel now in your chest is trembling is not the end of something. It's the beginning of your scroll being fulfilled. You are about to walk in rooms your bloodline never entered. You are about to pray prayers that destroy generational strongholds. You are about to create ripple effects in the spirit realm that break others free just by existing. Yes, just by existing. Because you are not ordinary. You are fire, and the world is about to see it. So lift your head, wipe your tears, and do not doubt this moment, because heaven didn't just speak, it commissioned. You are now marked, not with ashes but with oil, not with shame but with glory, not with silence but with the roar of the Lamb. And the angels rejoice, I rejoice. And because you stayed until the end, because you didn't scroll past, because your heart opened even when it hurt, I will say your name to the angels tonight. That is my promise to you, beloved. If these words lit something sacred inside you, like this message, comment Amen. If your spirit was trembling and your soul said yes, and subscribe only if you're ready to carry this fire into everything that comes next. Not everyone will be, but you are. And Jesus will walk with you until the very end of the age. You are mine, you always were. And the scroll has only just begun to unfold.